Good afternoon, all. I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious. This is a statement by Albert Einstein. So, with these words, I welcome you all to the 92nd edition of Upistata. The topic today is similar to that quotation that I read out, doing what fills your heart. On this occasion, I welcome Honorable Vice Chancellor of Kalahandi University, Professor Sanjay Kumar Sathpathy, and President of this Uttishthata Motivational Lectures program. It's my immense privilege to welcome on behalf of Kalahandi University the speaker on the occasion, Professor Keshab Das. He is from Gujarat Institute of Development Research. I welcome you all to Kalahandi University and to this motivational talk program. We have with us our esteemed registered sir, Sri Pitambar sir. I welcome you to this edition of Registered Talk. I welcome Head of the Department, Economics, Dr. Chitrashan Due sir. I welcome Dr. Palishri Patnaik Madam, Head of the Department, ODIA, to this edition of Registered Talk. I welcome all my beloved students of Kalahandi University, my respected colleagues, and the dignitaries who have joined this program through the online mode. I welcome you all to this edition of this channel. To these words of welcome, may I now request Ms. Lipsa Maharana to sing the welcome song. Over to Lipsa Maharana.
Thank you so much, sir. ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ମୋର ପ୍ରଣାମ। ହୃଦୟର ଏ ଶୂନ୍ୟତାକୁ ଆଜି ପଚାରେ ମୋ ଯିବି ଶୁଣେ ପ୍ରତାରଣା କି କାହାକୁ ଦେଇଛି ପ୍ରତିଧ୍ୱନି କହେ ତୁମେ 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 ଥିଲା ସେ କିପରି ଭାବ ପ୍ରବଣତା ହସୁଛି ମୋ ମନେ ମନେ ଥିଲା ସେ କିପରି ଭାବ ପ୍ରବଣତା ହସୁଛି ମୋ ମନେ ମନେ ତୋଳିବାକୁ ଏକ କୁହୁଡ଼ିର ଘର ବାହାରେ ଥିଲେ ମୋ ଦିନେ ତୋଳିବାକୁ ଏକ କୁହୁଡ଼ିର ଘର ବାହାରେ ଥିଲେ ମୋ ଦିନେ ସେ କୁହୁଡ଼ି ଘର ଗଲା ଭାଙ୍ଗି ଜାର ପ୍ରୀତିର ପ୍ରାଚୀର ଥିଲା ତୁମେ ପ୍ରତାରଣା କି କାହାକୁ ଦେଇଛି ପ୍ରତିଧ୍ୱନି କହେ ତୁମେ 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 ହୃଦୟର ଏ ଶୂନ୍ୟତାକୁ ଆଜି ପଚାରେ ମୋ ଯିବି ଶୁଣେ ପ୍ରତାରଣା କି କାହାକୁ ଦେଇଛି ପ୍ରତିଧ୍ୱନି କହେ ତୁମେ 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 ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ପ୍ରଣାମ।
Dhanyavad, Lipsa Madam. May I now request esteemed Register Sir to deliver his address.
Thank you, Sri Sanjeev sir. Namaskar, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Sunil Sampati sir, respected Speaker of the Day Professor Keshab sir, respected Hitasat Bhoy sir, respected CPGC Major Dr. Jagdeep Sahu sir, respected all HODs and faculty members and my dear students. On behalf of all members of Kalahandi University, I extend my sincere welcome you to this 92nd episode of Motivational Talks series. We are extremely happy to have our speaker of the day, Professor Keshab sir, joins us today. We believe that it is an excellent opportunity for us to learn from you, sir. Professor Keshab sir will motivate to our participants on the topic doing what fills your heart. In this session, I would like to say about the three white monkeys represent the moral message of see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. But our Honorable Vice Chancellor sir has identified the fourth monkey which represents the moral message of think no evil. कथार अच्छी यदि आम चिंतन ठीक थाए खराब देखा खराब शुणा और खराब कहवा मन में कदापि आसब ना तेणु आम चिंतन टाक ठीक रहा जरूरी जो मैंने विवेक आत्मा हृदय कथा शुणती से सब आनंद रुहति तेणु समस्त को ये अवसर अनुरोध करी आम समस्ते आत्मा विवेक कथा शुणी आनंद रहा. So I once again welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. You have rightly said, our esteemed Vice Chancellor sir has said, let's not think evil and not invite any kind of problems to our life. We can eliminate all problems if we stop thinking evil. And you have rightly pointed out this idea on this occasion. Now, I request respected head of the department, Dr. Chitreshan Boyser of Economics, to welcome the speaker and introduce the speaker to the audience over here.
Thank you very much, sir. Respected Vice Chancellor, Mr. Sir, the speaker today, thank you, sir, and all my colleagues and my students. It is really a privilege to introduce one of the speakers who has also spoken in the morning session. And it is really a privilege because to introduce such a personality is a very rare occasion. And thank you very much, Mrs. Sir, for giving me this opportunity to introduce Professor Keshab Das. He is professor at the Gujarat Institute of Development Research, Ahmedabad. So personally, I know him from his research, and to see his academic career, I can say he is one of the scholars who has represented you know who has joined as a research fellow in many international universities. To name few of the international universities, International Institute of Social Studies, The Hague, Netherlands. He was a visiting fellow in the University of Manchester, UK, Institute of Development Economics, Japan, and many more in his list. And he has done his MPhil and PhD from Jawaharlal University, and his research in India has focused on many of the aspects, and in the morning session also it was very clear that how his research thinks about the social solidarity. So to look at his academic career, I can say he has published 10 books and 110 articles in many of the journals, many of the good journals. And he is currently the president of Odisha Economic Association. And the association is holding a conference, Odisha conference in our university. So welcome you, sir. And with this word, I welcome Professor Keshab Das to deliver his. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chitrashen Gue, Head of the Department Economics. Now is the time to listen to the speaker. So I welcome Professor Das to fill the hearts of the young mind what they should do. Doing what? Fill your hearts.
নমস্কার জনকজি নমস্কার not that I'm trying to be humble deliberately, but I think it comes from within. Even if I come here for very different purposes, you know, it's actually a conference we're organizing, and we also insisted two things. One is that we must definitely have it here in this university in Bhawanipatna. And the second thing is we also introduce what is called this pre-conference event, which is mostly interacting with relatively younger scholars. So this is much beyond the regular annual conferences that we do under this association. I'm relatively new to the association. I remember only in 2018 when I came to give Dr. Bhawanipatna Memorial Lecture at the Association Annual Conference. After that, so then I became a member and whatever is now. I'm also now the chief editor of the Odisha Economic Journal. So a lot of responsibilities also make me very humble. And this particular event, Uttishthata, so in fact, probably Bujipaliku, I thought it was very localized, it's a small group of people that then started the Pathalogru realized this is a serious event actually. So I got a little nervous because I was not prepared about this, and then I thought, and psychology, there should be something motivational, something not much from my side to motivate you, but I'm just looking for signals which would motivate me. But then, into ଗୋଟେ topic কোনটো বা জানা কোনটো বিষয়বস্তু ভাবিছি, which is like which comes more from my heart. So I thought, why don't I sort of share with you some of the things which what I call as doing what fills your heart. So which is very different from being ambitious. Or which is very different from achieving something in a competitive world. So this is something which you might aspire, but then that aspiration is not for functional purposes. That you are not sort of doing something because you want to sort of achieve something formal in terms of money, position, let's say transport to a good place, maybe traveling across the world. So it's not a desire like that, but it's sort of something which calms down yourself within. Some people might find a way of spirituality, for instance. I mean, that's a typical sort of avenue many people find, particularly, let's say, I know many of my friends, maybe after 40, 45, so that is actually a tendency to sort of move towards spirituality, divinity, so spending more time with that. It's a kind of a sort of making your soul peaceful. But then there are several other issues which also bother us. And so what I found that maybe, so it is, so when you're saying that you are doing something which fills your heart, that's not the same as which fills your ego. So that's not the same as it fills your own desires. I think there is a certain happiness in sort of sharing with others or in sort of doing something within your whatever limited capabilities that gives you satisfaction. So that satisfaction is not something, it's not a tangible benefit for you, but it's a kind of a satisfaction, it's a happiness, an inner happiness, which probably acts as the motivation to do better. So, standing here, I think, and I also heard some big names who have been here. Today is the 92nd event, so I also recognize that very, very prominent people have spoken before me, so with due humility and due respect to them, and also with my thankfulness for you to be here and listening to me, and some also online. So let me sort of start with what we call as the space where we began. I'm not using the word place, I'm using the word space. Like sometime in the past. So I was born in Qatar, where my father was a doctor in that belonged to the first batch of Odisha Medical College. And he comes from extremely humble background. In a place, in a small village called Daudpur, which is sort of closer to Bhawanipatna. You might know that there's a small railway station on the banks of Kalahandi river. So both my parents, they come from that small village. And I remember, I think in 1961, this village had the highest proportion of people who were literate. So it was also known as Vidyalaya. And it's a small village, so about anyway, so that's how we are told. But I have lived in that village, though both my parents are from there. So as sort of one grew up, so there are a few things I recognize, even as a small child, when you are not able to do much in terms of influencing, so you are essentially sort of being carried by your circumstances or your past, whatever little endowments you had or you did not have. And within that, one small thing which sort of I very much recognized at a very early stage was that so you have to be very honest. So that was a trait which I saw very much with my own parents. So they lived an extremely frugal life. They lived a very honest life. And also, there was never ever they would be sort of like tricking others for any personal benefits. I think that probably remained in the back of mind all through. And as I was sort of growing up as a very young person, so there are certain influences of my parents, of course, remained, and also some great teachers, even in schools. So always, one small thing remained in my mind that in the domain of knowledge, as we sort of knowledge not necessarily only from the classrooms, but knowledge from elsewhere. So there are no hierarchies. And so what was very clear that in the domain of knowledge, you could learn from anyone, not necessarily when a human being. From standing under a tree, looking at the sky, and just watching the river flow, there are a lot of things you can sort of imbibe, and that becomes your knowledge. So that informs, that shapes the way you become in future. So while sort of the process, let's say the period of adolescence, for instance, so just sort of like everyone, so these are periods of like disagreements, these are also phases when you sort of face a lot of conflicts, many things you sort of believe as a small child, you sort of recognize that life is not like that. Because all around you, you saw poverty, you saw deprivation, you saw discrimination, and you also saw that there was a large quantity of aspiration which were actually there everywhere. So every small young person or everyone who did not have something in life was also aspiring, not always in material terms, but also in terms of dignity, in terms of certain recognition. So all these were sort of working. So you are not very clear, like how far you should be kind to others, how much you should give up, and what are your own capabilities to solve? And I think that was also the time, let's say, maybe 14, 15 to, let's say, till 20 or something, from school to the college. So one way I could express myself is writing short stories. So I write short stories in Odia. And so this became one major way through which I could express. And when I look back and see many of my stories have been published in Katha magazine, you have seen, and I was the literary champion in the Collywood College for all the 6 years for the best short story writer and all that. So that actually, when I'm saying that something which fills your heart, so that little, let's say, creative activity in a vernacular language of your choice, which also reflected a lot about the conflict, the challenges, the realities that we are encountering as we are growing up. And many of the stories, when I look back, I sometimes wonder whether it was written by me. Because many of the stories, I find that I'm talking about Eric Sandler, I'm talking about a lady who is worker and his only daughters dream to celebrate Diwali, for instance, and there is no money at home. So I also wrote stories about very small story which is based on my father's experience. So that was the story of how we are, as a society, we have internalized corruption. This is a story I'll quickly tell. I have some time with this. So this is a story called Pound. So Kalahandi last year about so Pound literally means fees. Service like that. So this is, so when I was very young, maybe in class 7th or something, so we were staying in a place in Gujarat. My father, as I said, was an eye doctor. So one of the idyllic evenings, so some person came in the street and he was holding a bicycle, he was not riding it, he was just looking up and down, he was looking at a small sheet of paper and he was looking for someone. Then he came close to my house and my father was there. So my father asked, so whom you are looking for? So he said, no, I'm looking for this eye doctor. Then my father said, I am the person, so what are you? So then he says that, no, I come from Purvalis, actually I come from rural area. And in fact, in the hospital, young person, 16-year-old boy, whose eye will be operated day after tomorrow by you. So he's there, I'm his brother. So then my father will ask me, so, but then why you came here? I said, what operation will be done in the hospital? I'm not your brother, so why you have come to my house? So then he said, sir, just 1 minute. And he sort of takes out a little thing which is wrapped in a newspaper. He takes from the back of his bicycle and says, operator. So my father was wondering, what is this? Sir, please keep this thing. So then my father is quite worried and he's asking, what is there? And then he said, sorry, I don't know. I'm not sure. You need to know what I'm not sure. I'm sorry. Best of it. So once, then my father was quite worried. Then he said, he was in the kind of Sunday, he was then I said, hey, boy, I have a book. She went to keep on born, keep on the cool class, Magna and Dutchman. So to see how it was, I said, it's a very good one. I'm going to put my last two. So whatever, small little income was on. So Sita, who happily, or who could be going, Jadi, two doctor operation quality. ସିଏ ଯଦି ଟିକେ ଖୁସି ହେଇଯିବେ ତାହେଲେ ସିଏ ଭଲ ଅପସନ୍ କରିବେ ଆଉ ଯେହେତୁ ସବୁ ଛୋଟ ଭାଇ ତାପରେ ଆମେ ଡିପେଣ୍ଡ କରୁଛୁ ସେ ମ୍ୟାଟ୍ରିକ ପଢୁଥିଲା ତାକୁ ବିରୁଡ଼ି କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟ୍ ତାର ଆଖି ହେଇଯାଇଛି ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଛି ଆପଣ ସବୁଠୁ ଭଲ ଡକ୍ଟର ତ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଆମେ କ'ଣ ଦେଖିବେ ତ ମୁଁ ଆଜ୍ଞା ଏତେ ବାହାର ରହୁଛି ମୁଁ ତ ଏତେ ବାହାର ଇଏ ନାହିଁ ତ ଆପଣ ପ୍ରେସ୍ my father also reacts to that situation, saying that so, but why do you think that the doctor who is paid by the government for providing whatever medical services, should also be given something at home. So then he gets nervous and he says, "Oh, don't get angry," etc. Anyway, so then my father understands the situation. So he said, "You tell how much you paid for this." Then at that time, whatever, late 70s, I guess. So he said, "Sir, about 100 rupees or something." So my father said, "Okay, you just be here for a moment." Then he goes inside, and I was the person who was watching all this at a small side. So after some time, my mother comes from inside and gives that person 100 rupees and another 20 rupees. And it's a small bag which contains one, whatever, bread, bounty, one loaf of bread, and 2 oranges. So my mother says, "You take this thing and so don't ask any further question because he's an angry man." So my father, so you might get hello. So you just when he says, "Sir, I do not want to take money for this because this is the bounty, this is the fees I wanted to give." So then my mother said, "No, you leave the thing here because this is raw fish, you can't do anything about it. So you take the money, you take this thing, and be sure the operation will be done whatever in the most proper way." So I'm telling this story for a very small reason that so this is a very small incident which happened, and I think several such things in life. So certain things are organized, certain things are expected, and there are certain encounters, certain examples which we never so thought of. We never imagined these things would happen. We never thought that you should watch a thing like this. But I think these things do sort of impact the way you want to develop your own perspective of life and the responses of the parents, for instance, to a situation like this. I think all these things were happening, maybe let's say, in the teen age or whatever. And as I did mention, so one major way I could fill my heart, if I may say so, was by writing small short stories, and they were published and etc. So that gave a lot of happiness. But then, with short stories writing and from getting a little bit of a support from your friends and whoever relatives, so that was probably not enough. So by the time I was finishing my master's, so I got an MPhil in applied economics in JD at the Center for Development Studies in Gujarat. So I was the only one selected from Odisha, etc. And so when I went there, so it is a completely different world for me. I sort of like went from a small place in Odisha and so with very little exposure. Then you land there, so you find very distinguished teachers, whether it's Professor Raj, whether it's Professor Bhawanipatna, whether it's someone very distinguished teachers, and many who came from different countries as distinct professors. So interacting with them, and not that we always talk to them, but we also watch them, how they spoke, what they were saying, how they sort of carry themselves. Those things also influence us. I give you a very quick example from my those days. Sometime back, I'm talking about maybe 19, let's say, 86, 87, when I was sort of like just beginning to do my PhD work. And so there was a particular event, there was a seminar, which was given by Professor Bhawanipatna. I don't know her, she was from JLU. So she was considered world's one of the top experts in agrarian relations and theorizing on that. So she had come. And then there was Professor A. Vadanathan, who is also no more. He was the director of the Prospective Planning Division of the Planning Council that we had. Very distinguished teacher. So, and both of them were there, they were main agricultural experts, and we were like small fellows sitting there and there. And the seminar takes place. So, little into the event, because Krishna had certain propositions to make about farm size and productivity. So, when she had, because she also had some political, economic sort of perspective, which was slightly different from Professor Vaidyanathan's view of a centrist perspective, for instance. And so it led to a massive fight between these two stalwarts in the seminar hall in the presence of people like us. So we are very sad. And once the event was over, then we sort of came out and there was a little bench where we should sit in the evenings. So many of our friends were very, very sad that we had such a great occasion, but then the two big teachers they fought, and so like it was not very nice. And in about 10 minutes time, we find both Professor Vaidyanathan and Professor Krishna was walking down. It's a little small hill up to it's in Kerala. So they were walking down from the seminar hall and they have to pass through the place where we were sitting there. And once they came, we saw them, they were holding hands and cutting jokes and they're just smiling and going off. And then someone told us that because Krishna was had come to Delhi, that she's going for dinner at Professor Vaidyanathan's house that evening. So we are completely taken aback because this completely destroyed all the negative thoughts that this relationship was spoiled. So the point is, one major learning was that maybe in professional terms, in terms of perspective, in terms of arguments, we may and we must necessarily disagree if we have a logic for that. That has got nothing to do with, like, disagreement is not disregarding it. If I disagree with you on an issue for which I may have my own reasons, you may have yours, that has got nothing to do with my not respecting it. So the next occasion where so I'm going to carry in the back of my mind that professionally in a seminar I had disagreed with you, or that was a disrespect for me. So there are several such small little learnings that sort of informs you briefly. And I tell you one more small thing and then sort of maybe sort of slowly come. I think the examples will be more interesting than talking about myself. Let me also tell a small thing. We have a small batch of entry in applied economics. It's very few people selected all over the country through a very competitive process and all that. So we're just about, I think we're just about 12 in the class. So there was just one girl student. So one day, so like as we saw like in the evening time, we were generally talking and all. So we found one of my classmates who is now a director of the Institute of Social and Economic Change in Bangalore. So he's my classmate by the way. So he was there and so we are talking and then this time he sort of walks up. We had gone to some seminar in some university. And he was carrying a bag, a sleeping bag, because he was giving the seminar. And one of my other male friends sort of made a little comment saying, so why are you carrying a lady's bag? Because that bag, I think he had gone to a conference on women empowerment issues or something, but he was a male. So putting the bag to my other male friend looked like a little colorful, whatever, so some imagination was there. So he made this comment saying, why the male guy is sort of carrying a female bag or lady's bag, as he said. And then my classmate, the other friend, was only girl student in the back. So she's looking glad. So she said, so how can you fix a gender for an object? It's just a bag. So there is nothing like a gent's watch and this watch. It doesn't really matter. This watch that I'm wearing, it is neither male, neither female. There is nothing like the pink has to be female and the blue has to be male. There is nothing like that. So there is no gender. And you cannot create a gender or impose gender and discriminate on that basis. So anyway, so this little discussion went up, and then many of us thought it was an unnecessary discussion. So what is wrong? Okay, that's some kind of colorful bag, etc., etc. And that is a lady's bag, so my friend was right. And then this goes on for a long, long time, late into night, we are arguing. Then comes this question of feminism, the question of women's rights, the values, the gender talks, the gender discrimination we have. So that started from this little talk. And so many of them, I did not quite, actually at that time, I did not quite comprehend. I was wondering whether we should make too much of fuss out of nothing. Because these divisions are anyway given in the society. Boys should be given some preference and girls should stop at some line strong there and they should not laugh loudly in a meeting, they should not talk loudly and when males are talking, the females should behave themselves, etc. etc. So many things from which we are internalized and stuff. It's all part of our system. But then that very late evening discussion and with my friend, the only government I have seen, and so next morning, in my hostel room, I find a little note, a kind of a letter which was sort of folded and stuff. So this was a 4-page letter that I still preserve from my classmate, the girl who was arguing against that gender statement about that lady's life. And she understood that maybe I did not quite get convinced about her arguments. And so in that very detailed letter, late in the night, she has written that. So she explained me as a friend, maybe as a teacher, what feminism is. So what is gender discriminations that we have from this very small instance. So there are several learnings. So the learnings, the lessons, the knowledge, these are not actually confined just to the classrooms or the textbooks, or not just sort of seen through the formula, but also one probably needs to be sort of open-minded to this. And so all these things slowly, as they I was sort of getting exposed to this, and then of course I did my PhD, and so I went to several of these universities. And so once we are outside, whichever country I went, so several times I found that we still have a lot of, like let's say, blinds, can I say so, as you should use the blinds for the horses, so that they focused only on that patch of the road and stuff around. So many of the blinds that we have in terms of, let's say, food habits, also like on varieties of small little social, cultural traits on which one discounts the other. Odia ko pakal sagar khai so this is kind of you have to disdain a kind of a society and people by sort of getting to small cause. So what we are into? By God of Bhagavana, I'm into Odia all other forms of Bhagavana or Bhaga or whatever, they are all useless. I'm more into so this kind of fight you might take pride in your culture, in your sort of identities, but the identity should not overpower. And that brings me to a small learning in my life. So that's a very interesting book by Keshab. It's called Identity and Violence, The Illusion of Destiny. This is a book by Keshab in 2006. If you get opportunity, I think it's also available on the net. So please do read this, because it's a very interesting book talking about what we call as micro-identities. So what is micro-identity or multiple identities, for instance? Like, for instance, because you said we have covered the economics conference, so let me cite an example of an economist. Paul Samuelson was the first economist to receive the Nobel Prize. It's the most celebrated sort of, let's say, mainstream economist of the world. So most of the libraries that you go around, you'll find that a book by Paul A. Samuelson, Economist. That's the standard book. So he's a very famous economist, obviously. And but then he was also a very good tennis player. It's like, so you not know how to describe it. So shall I describe Paul Samuelson as the economist only, or Paul Samuelson is also a tennis player? And very often when we introduce ourselves, so we at times, so it depends where the context in which one introduces. I will say that, oh, my father was a member of the parliament, I come from a royal family, my uncles, whoever was holding whatever as position secretary. From that, you can say he's a great cricketer, you can say some someone is a great singer, why that person would also be doing very well in mathematics, for instance. So you have this, every individual has a range of identities, whether they relate to their own attributes, the skills, whether they relate to their sort of places of origin, whether they relate to their own sort of relations of the familial connections through which they derive those sort of like the identities. So if then, of course, we can sort of have the standard identities on which we always are for Hindu, Muslim, Brahman hai, Mahadi hai, Modi hai. So all these divisions, so he is not very fair. So 150 shades of brown, for instance. So we do not know, I don't know that you understand me as black or white. There is a whole wide range of gray. So this also tells us that we are actually, we are falling into this trap of what we call as the binaries. Or you are the other one. So that cannot be a middle ground. But in fact, most identities are multiple identities. There is nothing wrong in that. So far as the identity becomes your opposite, or the identity becomes a illusion in you that you think that identity, which is pre-given by a society or by a system, which might have been imperfect, might have been unjust, might have been unfair, but has created certain kinds of identities, in the trap of which, or in the trap of the illusion of which, we have become intolerant. So if you are not as white as me, if you are not Brahmin, and within Brahmin there are like 10 different categories, Puri Brahmana, so we have created unnecessary sort of hierarchies based on absolutely flimsy grounds, on the basis of the color of the skin, certain kinds of persuasion of faith, certain kinds of discrimination based on sex. So we have actually, why we might be sort of showing ourselves to be, let's say, civilized, educated, exposed, well-traveled. I think we still have fallen into this trap of what we call as the tragedy of micro-identities. One of the small lessons I have learned so far by meeting people, whatever I've done, large number of field surveys in India and South Africa and other places. So I've always noticed, wherever you are, if you treat people with respect, if you appreciate the differences and still remain friends, if you are kind to others, there is no way, excepting for maybe very rare exceptions, there is no way the other person is going to react back. Wherever on earth, not just in Odisha or my place or wherever, anywhere, I think the best human response to a good behavior or to a kind of good symbol of friendship, for instance, sort of one smile, for instance, so listening to the other person carefully, for instance. I think these are never responded in a negative manner. So I think that comes from your idea about tolerance, your idea about accepting absolute diversity as the nature is. So beyond that, I think only there are few things left in life, like maybe just a short journey. Then there is a responsibility you have for those who were not as lucky, as privileged, not because they were incapable, but because the situations were like that. So if we can contribute to improve that little bit of the endowments, that little bit of the situations for those who are not privileged, I think much of the life's goal is fulfilled. And that's where I think we must do something what fits our heart. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. In a very conversational style, you have elucidated very beautifully some of the lessons that you learned from your life by reflecting upon those events from your childhood days till today. You are a good storyteller, the way, and you're a good story writer also. Your story have been published in a renowned Odia journal called Katha. So we are glad to know that you reflected upon the principle of honesty, that there should not be any hierarchy when we derive knowledge, what should be our aspirations. And you also told us that a disagreement is not a disregard. We have the right to disagree, but one should not take that as a disregard. And very beautifully, you presented that we should not have any discriminatory approach towards anything on the basis of caste, on the basis of color, on the basis of race, on the basis of gender. We should have an inclusive approach towards life to accept all, to accommodate all, so that we can live a better life. And definitely at the end, you rightly said, sir, how we can contribute something towards the people who are not privileged like us. If you are doing anything for them, definitely our heart will be filled with those things what we want to fill the hearts with. Thank you very much, sir. Your kind words, your words of inspiration definitely transform these young minds to be a good citizen of this society. With this, may I now request esteemed Vice Chancellor of Kalahandi University to deliver his presidential address.
Dear all, till yesterday I have not finalized with the speaker. खोजू खोजू कहा मुझे सुना कर सुरा सारू कोई कौन एटा इतने बड़ा प्रोग्राम कौन टॉपिक कहबी तो टॉपिक तो नाटा हला बाउतपुर अहमदाबाद बाउतपुर का समस्तम करने टॉपिक हला या आपण कौन ना देबे दैट इज अप टू यू किंतु मूल कथा है बाउतपुर अहमदाबाद तापरे जो टॉपिक है सकाल दिया गला से कहले एटा ऊपर पहुंचे पारे then a lot of things come within me थोड़ा बुद्ध चल चल के जाते गाँव पड़े गाँव किसी लोक बहुत सोचते abused him like anything. बहुत लगा निर्विकार से सब सुनिले से घरे गाड़ी दे दी ठोकी गले सब कहले तुम मान सरला ठीक अच्छे जदि आउ किसी बाकी अच्छे रखी था आर गाँव में गोटे कार्य अच्छे मुझे सारिक फेरबी से दे से कहले आम एत गाड़ी देलु आप किसी कहले तो नो रिएक्शन से कहले ये सब मो नथिला मुझे रिएक्ट जदि किसी दुर्भाग्य था जहाँ कहले से प्राप्ति तो किसी बाट था मुझे शुणती रिएक्ट करती नुहे तेणु मोर से कथा सब हृदय को लगा ସେମାନେ ବହୁତ ବ୍ୟସ୍ତ ହେବେ। ଏମିତି ହେଲା କଣ ହେଲା କଣ ମାନେ କିଛି ବୁଝିପାରେ। ଯାଉଥିଲେ ବୁଦ୍ଧ କୁଆଡେ ନା ପାଖ ଗାଁ ଗୋଟେ ବହୁତ ବଡ ଧନୀ ଲୋକ ଥିଲା। ସେ ଆସିଲା ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ, ମୋର ବହୁତ କାମ ଅଛି, ଆପଣ ଟିକେ ମତେ ବ୍ରହ୍ମଜ୍ଞାନ ଶିକ୍ଷା ଦେବେ। ଆପଣ ଦପ୍ତରରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି, ବ୍ରହ୍ମଜ୍ଞାନ ଦେଲେ ଆପଣ ଜଲ୍ଦି ମୋର ବ୍ୟବସାୟୀ ଲୋକ ବହୁତ କାମ, ବ୍ରହ୍ମଜ୍ଞାନ ଟିକେ ଶିକ୍ଷା ମଧ୍ୟ ଦେଇଦିଅ। ସେଠୁ ବୁଦ୍ଧ କହିଲେ ତମରି ତ ବ୍ରହ୍ମଜ୍ଞାନ ଦେଇହବନି, ନା କଣ କରିବା? ହଉ ତମେ ଯା, ମୁଁ ଯାଇ ତମ ଘରେ ଗୋଟେ ଦିନ ପହଞ୍ଚିବି, ତମକୁ ବ୍ରହ୍ମଜ୍ଞାନ ଶିକ୍ଷା ଦେଇକି ଆସ। କିଏ ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି ବ୍ରହ୍ମଜ୍ଞାନ ଶିକ୍ଷା ଦେବା ପାଇଁ? ପାଟିରେ ଘଟଣା ଘଟିଲା, ପଳେଇଲେ ସେଠିକି ଗଲା ବେଳକୁ ସେ ଧନୀ ଲୋକ ଜଣକ କ୍ଷୀରି ତିଆରି କରିଛନ୍ତି ବୁଦ୍ଧଙ୍କୁ ଖୋଇବେ ଆଉ ବ୍ରହ୍ମଜ୍ଞାନ ଶିକ୍ଷା ଦେବେ। ସେ କହିଲେ ଆଜ୍ଞା ମୁଁ ବଢିଆ କ୍ଷୀରି ତିଆରି କରିଛି, ବହୁତ ଭଲ ଚାଉଳ ତିଆରି କରିଛି, ନା ହଉ ଏଇଠିରେ ଦେଇଦେ। ତାଙ୍କର ଥଳିଟା ଦେଖିଲେ ଲାଗୁଥିଲା, ଦେଖିଲେ ଆଖି ପଡିଗଲା ଧନୀ ଲୋକଙ୍କର, ଭିତରେ କଣ ଅଛି, ଖାଲି ଅଛି ନା କିଛି ଜିନିଷ ଅଛି? ଦେଖିଲା ତା ଦେହରେ କିଛି ଗୋବର ଥିଲା। ଏ ଗୋବର ଯେ କ୍ଷୀରି ଗୁଡା ନଷ୍ଟ ହେଇଯିବ। ଏଥର ଚାଲି ଯଦି କ୍ଷୀରି ଦବନି ଏଥିରେ, ତାହେଲେ ମୁଁ ଚାଲିଲି। ଆଜ୍ଞା ମୋର ବ୍ରହ୍ମଜ୍ଞାନ ଶିକ୍ଷା କରିବାକୁ, ଏଇଟା ତ ବ୍ରହ୍ମଜ୍ଞାନ। ତମେ ଯଦି ଗୋବର ଥିବା ଥଳିରେ କ୍ଷୀରି ଦେଇପାରିବ ନାହିଁ, ମୁଁ ତମ ଭିତରେ ଯୋଉ ଗୋବର ଭାଗ ଅଛି ସେଇଟା ସଫା ନହେଲେ ତମକୁ ବ୍ରହ୍ମଜ୍ଞାନ କେମିତି? ବ୍ରହ୍ମଜ୍ଞାନ କଥା ହେଲା। ମୁଁ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଟିକେ ରେଜିଷ୍ଟର ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିଥିବା କଥା ଆଡକୁ ନେଇଯାଏ। Yes, rightly pick the thing. ଗାନ୍ଧିଜୀଙ୍କର ତିନିଟା ମାତ୍ର, କଣ? ଖରାପ କଥା ଦେଖିବେନି, ଶୁଣିବେନି ବା କହିବେନି। ପ୍ରଥମ କଥା କହିଲେ ଗାନ୍ଧୀଙ୍କର ସେ ମାଙ୍କଡ ଜମା ନୁହେଁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ପୃଥିବୀ ସାରା ପପୁଲାର ସେମାନେ ଗାନ୍ଧୀଙ୍କ ମାଙ୍କଡ। ସାର୍ ଜାପାନ ଯାଇଛନ୍ତି, ଜାପାନ ଗୋଟେ ତାସା ବୋଲି ସହର ଅଛି। ତାସାରେ ଗୋଟେ ବହୁତ ପୁରୁଣା ବୁଦ୍ଧ ମନ୍ଦିର ଅଛି, 1000 ବର୍ଷ। ସେଇ ବୁଦ୍ଧ ମନ୍ଦିରରେ ଏଇ ତିନି ମାଙ୍କଡଙ୍କର ପଥର ମୂର୍ତ୍ତି ଅଛି ସେ କାନ୍ଥରେ। ତାହେଲେ ଗାନ୍ଧୀଙ୍କ ମାଙ୍କଡ କେମିତି? They are Buddhist monkeys. ପୃଥିବୀରେ ପଶୁ ପକ୍ଷୀଙ୍କ ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ ନୀତି ଜ୍ଞାନ ଦେଉଥିବା ଶ୍ରେଷ୍ଠ ଲୋକ ହେଉଛନ୍ତି ଦୁଇ ଜଣ। ଜଣେ ହେଲେ କନଫ୍ୟୁସିୟସ୍, ଆଉ ଜଣେ ହେଉଛନ୍ତି ବିଷ୍ଣୁ ଶର୍ମା ପଣ୍ଡିତ। ସେମାନେ ଦୁଇ ଜଣ ପାଖାପାଖି। ଖ୍ରୀଷ୍ଟପୂର୍ବ 4ର୍ଥ ଶତାବ୍ଦୀ ପୃଥିବୀର ଗୋଟେ ଟପିକ। ଯୋଉମାନେ ଜନ୍ମ ହେଇଛନ୍ତି ସେ ଶତାବ୍ଦୀରେ ଆରମ୍ଭରେ ଜୈନ, ତାପରେ ବୁଦ୍ଧ, ପାଣିନି, ଏ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର ଜନ୍ମ ହେଲା ଖ୍ରୀଷ୍ଟପୂର୍ବ 4ର୍ଥ ଶତାବ୍ଦୀ। ତେଣୁ ତା ପୃଥିବୀକୁ ଗୋଟେ ମୋଡ ଦେଇଛି, ଭାବନାର ମୋଡ ଦେଇଛି ମଣିଷ ସମାଜ। ତ କଣ ହେଲା ତିନି ମାଙ୍କଡ କଥା? ଜଣ କହିଲା ଦେଖିବେନି, ଶୁଣିବେନି ବା କହିବେନି। ମୋ ମନକୁ ଆସିଲା, ମନରେ ଯଦି ଖରାପ ଚିନ୍ତା ଥିବ ଦିଶିବ, କାନ ବନ୍ଦ କଲେ ଶୁଭିବ, ପାଟି ବନ୍ଦ କରିକିରି ଆମେ ଆମ ଭିତରର ସଂଳାପକୁ ବନ୍ଦ କରିପାରିବୁନି। We cannot just take the dialogues which are going on within. By closing your mouth. ଘରେ ତମର ଡେରି ହେଲା ଫେରିବା ପାଇଁ, ମା ବହୁତ ଗାଳି କଲା, ତ ମା କଣ କିଛି କହିପାରିବ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଭିତରେ ଭିତରେ ଅସନ୍ତୋଷ ପ୍ରକାଶ କରିବ। ସାର୍ ଗାଳି ଦେଲେ କ୍ଲାସରେ ଅସନ୍ତୋଷ ପ୍ରକାଶ କରିବେ ସେଟା ସଂସ୍କାରର କଥା କିନ୍ତୁ ଭିତରେ you cannot judge. You don't have any idea about the inner engineering. ତେଣୁ କ'ଣ କଥା ହେଲା ଯେ ଯଦି ମନରେ ଖରାପ ଚିନ୍ତନ ନାହିଁ, if you not have any bad thinking with any ତାହେଲେ ଆଖି ଖୋଲା ଥିଲେ କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ନାହିଁ, କାନ ଖୋଲା ଥିଲେ କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ନାହିଁ। ଯାହା ଆମର ବେଦରେ କୁହାଗଲା ten double thoughts come to us from all sides. ଆଉ ପାଟି ବନ୍ଦ କରିବାର ଦରକାର ବି ନାହିଁ। ଯଦିଓ I have tested ଯେ ତମମାନଙ୍କୁ ବି ଯଦି କହିବି ସେ କ୍ଲାସରେ କୋଉମାନେ ଥିଲ ପ୍ଲସ୍ ଟୁ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଇୟର ଗୋଟେ କ୍ଲାସକୁ ଯାଇଥିଲେ ନିକଟରେ ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ କହିଲି ରାଇଟ୍ all the words to appreciate someone. ତ କ୍ଲାସ ସାରା ଲାଗିକିରି 55ଟି ଶବ୍ଦ ହେଲା ମୋତେ ସେ କାଗଜଟା ଦେଇଛି। କିନ୍ତୁ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଅନ୍ୟକୁ ଗାଳି ଦେବା ପାଇଁ 50 ଶବ୍ଦ ନିଶ୍ଚୟ। 100 ପିଲା ଲାଗିକିରି 55 ଶବ୍ଦ ଦେଲେ ନହେଲେ ତାଙ୍କର 22 ନା 23 ହେଇଥିଲା ଜଣଙ୍କର ହାଇଏଷ୍ଟ ସବୁ ମିଶେଇ ଦେଲା ବେଳକୁ 55 ଦେଲା। କିନ୍ତୁ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଲେଖିବ ପାଇଁ ସେ ଶବ୍ଦଟା ଗାଳି ଦେବା ପାଇଁ 50 ଶବ୍ଦ କୋଉଠୁ ଶିଖିଲ? ଏଠି ପାଠ ପଢିବା ପାଇଁ ଧରାଯାଉ ନର୍ସରୀରୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରି 10 ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ହେଲା 10-11 ବର୍ଷ, ପୁଣି ଏଠି ବର୍ଷେ 12 ବର୍ଷ ଧରି ତୁମକୁ ଶିକ୍ଷା ଦିଆଯାଉଛି। ଇନଭେଷ୍ଟମେଣ୍ଟ ଅଫ୍ ୟୋର ପ୍ୟାରେଣ୍ଟସ୍, ଇନଭେଷ୍ଟମେଣ୍ଟ ଅଫ୍ ଦ ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍, everything. But on no investment, we have got a lot many words to abuse somebody. That means you are, if I tell that in commercial language, in the language of accounting, you are running with a negative bias. ମୋ ପାଖରେ ପଜିଟିଭିଟି କମ୍, ପଜିଟିଭିଟି ଆଡ଼କୁ ଗଲେ ଭାରି ଛୋଟରେ ନୁହେଁ, ପଜିଟିଭ ୱାର୍ଡସ୍ ମୋ ପାଖରେ କମ୍, ନେଗେଟିଭ ୱାର୍ଡସ୍ ମୋ ପାଖରେ ଅଧିକା, ତାହେଲେ ଆଇ ଏମ୍ ରନିଂ ୱିଥ୍ ନେଗେଟିଭ ବାଲାନ୍ସ। ତେଣୁ ଯୋଉଠି ନେଗେଟିଭ ବାଲାନ୍ସ ଥିବ ସେଠି ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକ ତା ହୃଦୟର ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦେଶ ଅନୁସାରେ, ବିବେକର ନିର୍ଦ୍ଦେଶ ଅନୁସାରେ କାମ କରୁନାହିଁ। And what ultimately will happen? Ultimately, ତମେ ଦେଖିବ ଯେ ମୁଁ କିଛି କରିପାରେ। In search of happiness, in search of pleasure, I have done so many things which are useless. କିଛି ତାର ଆବଶ୍ୟକତା ବୋଧେ ନଥିବ। କାହିଁକି ନା ମୁଁ ତ ଏଠି କିଛି ନେଇକି ଯିବାର ନାହିଁ, କୌଣସି ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ନେଇକି ଯିବେନି। ମରିକି ପଡିଥିବା ମା କାନରୁ କାନ୍ଦି କାନ୍ଦିକିରି ଝିଅ କାନ ଫୁଲ ଓହ୍ଲେଇ ନବାର ମୁଁ ଦେଖିଛି। ମା ତୁ ଚାଲିଗଲେ ମୁଁ କଣ କରିବି? ହଉ ଏଇ ସନ୍ତକଟା ତୋର ମୋ ପାଖରେ ଥାଉ। ଏମିତି ଅନେକ ପ୍ରକାରର ଘଟଣା। ଆଜିର ବିଷୟବସ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ ଯଦି ଚିପୁଡ଼ିକି ବାହାର କରିବି କଣ ହବ? Please identify who is your best friend. Your best friend is yourself. ତମର ସବୁଠାରୁ ନିକଟତମ ପ୍ରିୟ ବନ୍ଧୁ ହଉଛ ତମେ ନିଜେ। You give time to everybody, but you don't give time to yourself. ମୁଁ ଆଜି କଣ କଲି ସେ କଥା ମୁଁ କଣ ମୋ ନିଜ ସାଙ୍ଗେ କଥା ହୁଏ? ତାର କେତେ ଭଲ କେତେ ଖରାପ, କୋଉଟା ମୋର ଭୁଲ ରହିଗଲା, କୋଉଠି ମୁଁ ଭୁଲ କଥା କହିଦେଲି, ମୁଁ ମତେ ନିଜ ସାଙ୍ଗେ କଥା ହେବା ପାଇଁ ମୋର ବେଳ ନାହିଁ। ନିଜ କହିବାର କଥା ଆଜିର ପୃଥିବୀରେ ଅଧିକାଂଶ ଲୋକଙ୍କର କାହାର ନିଜ ସାଙ୍ଗେ କଥା ହେବା ପାଇଁ ବେଳ ନାହିଁ। ନିଜ ସାଙ୍ଗେ କଥା ହେଲେ ତ ସେ ହାର୍ଟ କଥା ଆସିବ କି ବିବେକ କଥା ଆସିବ, କଣ କଥା ଆସିବ, ନଥିଲେ କେମିତି ହବ? So I can suggest you to find out some time to give yourself ନିଜ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ କିଛି ସମୟ soliloquies are required. You should talk with yourself maybe for 5 minutes in a day. Then you can find there is a habit in you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Every time you come before us, you hold a mirror for all of us to reflect ourselves, to introspect ourselves, and to know ourselves to which direction we are going, and to meet ourselves. Thank you very much, sir. You have brilliantly summarized the entire session, and let's try to meet ourselves every day and talk to ourselves. With this, may I now request Head of the Department ODIA, Dr. Bhawanipatna, to propose the vote of thanks.
Namaskar, sir. Really, before giving the vote of thanks, I must say your wonderful deliberation about what heart feels. It was really brainstorming. It was really a very intellectual discussion. And not only you have focused from the very beginning that we should be very honest and whatever I have written, I actually write everything whenever I'm here in the Uttistata, and this is the 92nd Uttistata. You have said not only about honesty, but you have said it's not always materialistic, but through many things. Through your short stories, you have spoken very nicely, and I'm really very thankful again to you, sir. I could meet you, the storyteller Kesab Das, today. I actually didn't know that you are the same person. So again, my gratitude on behalf of Kalahandi University that through this economic conference, I could meet a storyteller who is actually, I was reading Kesab Das, I didn't know that the same person you are. So, and maybe many stories we everybody sit we are everyone sitting here, maybe our youngsters, you do not know about the economist who is a storyteller too, and we are very fortunate that we have got such a personality with us today. And you have said about disagreements should not be disrespect. With example of many stories you have said about, maybe professionally we should fight with everyone professionally with any theories we are fighting, but we should not take to that to our personal level. And regarding gender, regarding that backstory, and I'm really very thankful again to you, sir. I am a feminist. I want to see you that I'm a feminist, and I was just listening through your words, through your back, through anything material. We are just thinking that this pink color is a female color, the blue color is a male color. It's not like that. There should not be any discrimination in gender. You have focused on that too, and you are focused on the identity crisis, the multi-identity which we are hearing today, and you are focused with all the aspects of human life. As a whole, I can summarize that you have said about the whole aspect of human life in this materialistic age, in this materialistic era, how we can stay peacefully if we broad our heart. So, our gratitude on behalf of Kalahandi University to you, sir. Thank you very much. And none other than our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Always, sir speaks nicely. Always. Maybe that is the fourth monkey, maybe the Buddha story. Every time you come before us, as my colleague said, you focus on a wonderful topic, and day by day you are enhancing our knowledge regarding a peaceful life. Thank you very much, sir. My heartfelt thanks to our esteemed registrar sir, our CPDC sir, and Sanjeev sir also, and my gratitude on behalf of Kalahandi University to all the faculty members sitting here, to the technical team, and none other than our diamond students. Our heartfelt thanks to all the persons who are connected with these who disturb the program through online, and last but not the least to our Dr. Sister Lipsa Morana. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much, madam, for such a wonderful vote of thanks that you proposed today. So, we'll go to the sample. Diksha has.
ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Thank you, Diksha. So, with the permission from the chair, may I declare the session to end here.
Just with one information. Nivedita, you can post a list probably tomorrow, on Sunday. Today it will be done. So you can think after Monday, you can find out Ajinota Pakitik. You can find out all the YouTube links of 92 episodes of Uttishtata in Kalahandi University. So now it will be released, so you can go through the website sometime, find the photographs which are coming, and this we can observe. Listen who have not attended 91, 92, 91 episodes. Today is 92. So in this way, on April 7th, we will have the 100th episode. Thank you. You can...